This is Dad Mentality. I am Rodney Glover. I'm your host. So we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves.
Hello. This is Rodney Glover, aka Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality. We have another week. We took a week off for Mother's Day because we had to, take care of the mothers in our lives. But we came back strong, and we have a great mother guest this week that I'm excited about. So let's get into it. I don't do this by myself, so I got my man. 100 grand, Vance Robs, aka Coach. How you doing, Vance?
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
Man, doing good. We also got my man Mike Alban, aka Albeezy. What's up, Albeezy? How you doing today?
Hi, y'all.
Good. Well, also here we got producer Everett. How you doing today, man? Everything good?
Doing good, man.
All right, everything is good. So today we got a special guest, fellas. After the Mother's Day time off, I wanted to bring in somebody special, and this is the matriarch of my family. The matriarch of my close family. She definitely known me since the day I was born. She isn't my mother, but she's one of the closest things that I have to a mother. Um, and she definitely took a village to raise me. So shouts out to all the moms that helped raise me. All the moms like my Aunt Rose was definitely in that category. Vance's mom was also in that category to help raise me. But this young lady, Maria Wilson, was definitely involved in my life and definitely impacted me in millions of ways. And I couldn't think of no one better I wanted to have on the show today. She has fought cancer and won. She is a mother of 2 children of her own. She has grandchildren. She has been seasoned on this earth for 77 years, and she is still a mother role in my household. She comes and visits me at least once or twice a week to make sure that I'm doing good and ain't acting a fool. And she's still giving that motherly dues. Her name is Maria Wilson. How you doing, Aunt Maria?
All right, I was dropping like it's hot, but I can't get back up if I get down again. Hello, everybody.
Hello. So we are definitely glad to see. Vance is also been involved in my life where he's known my Aunt Maria for many years, and I know he was definitely excited to see you here. So you want to say hi, Vance?
Yeah, what's going on?
You.
The one person that taught me how to play spades in every other card game and how to gamble
Hey,
is on the
that's
phone
right.
right now, including dominoes.
That's right.
So yeah, Aunt Maria was always there. So Aunt Maria, before we get into interviewing you and talking to you, we're going to go ahead and do our Twitch mental health check-in, because here at Dad Mentality, we believe mental health is important. You should always discuss it, whether it's with your friends, family, or your loved ones. If you're ever feeling sad, take the time to have that conversation and get your mental health right. We're going to go ahead and start this week. Alban, you mind starting it for us this week?
Oh, no, I'm good. Yeah. I'm a good 7. Once again, about a million weeks in a row. Work sucks. Relationship stuff. Forgot about how hard that shit is. But
okay. Oh, you're admitting a relationship now? We at that level? My man.
yeah. And then the kids are healthy and doing well. So school's almost over. That's all good. And no sports for the next 3 weeks, and then back into the grind.
How soon are your kids graduating? Do you have any graduating this year, or they graduating soon?
No. Son graduating next year.
Next year. Okay. All right, cool. What about you, Vance? You want to give your check-in?
Yeah, man. Last week was probably about 7.5. You know what I'm saying? I'm still about the same as what I've been over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Work is a little tough and in a couple areas. You know what I mean? So working to get back in shape now. So that's actually been, you know what I'm saying, kind of boosting my score over the last, you know what I'm saying, couple weeks. I've been pretty disciplined about working out, you know what I'm saying, doing what I need to do. And that's been a pretty good stress reliever. So I'd say 7.5 right now. You know what I mean? Kids are pretty busy. Life is busy in general, but it should be slowing down over the next 2 weeks, hopefully. So that way I can get a little bit of rest.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go. My score is at 8.5. It definitely increased. I kind of went through a little down the hill valley situation. I'm definitely going uphill. Track started for my son. We had our first track meet yesterday. He did great. He placed in the top 10, and he's the younger of that age group. So he's running 9, 10. He was running against 10-year-olds yesterday. It was crazy. They like each kid had at least 3 or 4 inches over him in height and. But I mean, it was, I'm excited because next year he'll be in the 10-year-old range and he'll be dominating for sure if he's in the top 10 right now. So I'm excited about that. It got me excited. I had my goddaughter; she got christened last week. That's kind of why I couldn't do the show last week. My goddaughter, shout outs to Brandy and my goddaughter Malin, who is. An exceptional young baby that I'm just excited about seeing her grow now, and as I'm older, it's a lot better when you can just send them back to their parents. So I'm happy about that was good, and life has been good. Wife has been doing good, growing in her business, and but I did miss you guys last week. I did want to talk about my week, but and I was extremely excited about having Maria here. So it's an 8.5. I'm good. Everything's good. I'm real happy that I got out of that rut. Oh, I won a vacation from my job, so that was exceptional.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going out to Hollywood, Florida, and hang out down there for a little bit. So everything's good. Producer Ev, how about you? What's your score? What's your week?
My score is about 7.5. It really got raised today. Me and the girlfriend went to Eastern Market. We all walked around, talked to a lot of good people this morning, got some breakfast. It was great. Came home, spent time with my family, barbecue for a little bit, and now I'm talking to you guys. The week was kind of weird. Work been kind of up and down. Kind of my first bad week at work. Just a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, but other than that, that's it.
Hey, well, next time you over there, let me know. I know a couple chefs over there that they'll take care of you. You mentioned my name, so I'll let
Okay.
you know about what those places are. So you
Cool.
can show off and just let me know. I'll text them and tell them it's make it on the house. You gotta pay for your liquor though if you drink it.
All
But
right.
Oh, Lord help me.
but I got you. I got you next time. All right. So anyway, Maria, you got to give us your check-in. You just give us a number, how your week is going. Tell us a little bit about how your week is this week, and how you're feeling, and things that were good, and things if you need anything you want to talk about, Maria.
Okay. Well, my week was tough, but I made it a 10. Okay.
Okay.
Because people are doing worse than I'm doing. So I had to raise my week to it was like crap. Every day it was something else. But I took it and turned it around. So I'm gonna put it at a 10. It was perfect because God was in it and I'm all right.
Good stuff.
Hmm?
I
So I
said
had a
good
little
stuff.
distraction there. Yeah, my neighbor came over with the dogs. This show is impromptu, so I had to kick him out real quick. But everything's good. All right, Maria, I'm glad to hear where you at. So we're gonna. I wanted, I wanted. So I just want to give a little bit more background. So Maria was my mom's
Yeah.
best friend. Um, and I always, so when I was growing up, I always thought you was actually my mom's sister. I had no clue that it was a friendship. You was always Aunt Maria to me. You always will be Aunt Maria to me, and your relationship with my mom is exceptional. And I was sitting down one day. Me and my Aunt Maria was sitting at my bar drinking, and Maria was just talking about stories and telling stories about the old days and this, that, and the other. And I was like, Maria, man, you really need to record this. Like, you need to have this so people can listen and hear the story. So I wrote down a few questions of my own that I want to know because I don't know the whole stories. When I grew up, y'all probably hid everything from me because I was the baby of the group. So the first thing I don't know is how did you and my mother even meet?
Okay. Well, At the time I was married at the time, and my husband worked for Rodney's father at as a contractor because David was the supervisor and my husband and David Rodney's father came home, told my husband one day, I need a friend for my wife because my wife is going through a nervous breakdown because of things that he had done and because of life. And my husband told David, I got the perfect person for your wife because she will cheer her up and she won't be depressed anymore. So we met playing Big Whist. One night, my husband took me over to Rodney's house, and he lived in Cheverly at the time. This was before Rodney was born. Because I know the night Rodney was conceived, but we're not getting into that because that's personal. But I know then that when I met her, I knew we were going to be friends, and that was 1973. And Richard Nixon was get kicked out of the White House. So Frankie and I, we bonded, and it never ended. It hasn't ended yet because I'm with her kids now, so she will never die.
Okay. Okay, so my dad came and asked your husband to hook y'all up. Okay, to hook
He
up with
hooked
a
us
friend.
up because my mother had a nervous breakdown when I was 4, so I was used to um, people being down because it's it's like now the mental illness now is serious because we didn't kill people then, but we had problems going on. And when I met Frankie, I knew I loved her, and we never it never ended after that day, and that was 1973. That was when Richard Nixon was in office.
Okay, so now I just realized I don't even know where or when you were born. Or were you born in D.C.? Were you a native
Washington,
even
yeah,
then?
born at Freedman's Hospital, which is now Howard University Hospital, one of the old Washingtonians. When I was born, Georgetown was black. Okay, that can tell you how long ago it was. Georgetown was black, and I'm one of the old people that were actually born and raised in Washington, D.C. I grew up in near the Howard Theater, near the Lincoln Republic, and the movies, the
Okay.
skating ring, all of that.
Ain't no skating ring no more. You talking about U Street, like over there by U Street?
Yes, U Street. I grew up. I was born when my parents were in Southwest, but I grew up in before Ben's Chili Bowl, right on Willow Street, right around the corner from U Street.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so you were born then. Okay, when did you meet your husband?
Well, do I have to? I might have to get drunk to tell that. I met him when I was 12. He was the paper boy. There was the Daily News, and he would come around and give me a free newspaper, which was the Washington Daily News, and I was 12 years old. I met him at 12. I started dating him at 15. I married him at 18.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So he was putting in work at 12. You know, at 12, that you must have been. You must have been. I don't know if he was fast or developed. Which one was it?
Well, no, because you got to remember that time we was life a little slow, and I didn't realize that he had problems that only he could do. I didn't realize about alcoholism and things at that early age because he was probably the nicest guy that I ever probably met. And he was a real gentleman. He had invited me to his 16th birthday party and he asked me to be his girl. And that was my girl from the Temptations. That's how we hooked up.
Hmm.
Okay. Any fellas? Y'all got any questions so far, or anything y'all want to ask? Or?
Nope. Uh, that's interesting. That you know what I'm saying. Y'all were high school sweethearts, and at the time, at
Okay,
least.
but let me in phase in that. I was the only one in high school. Okay, he should have been in high school.
I
But
was waiting for
what I
something.
realized, no, because you got to look further than that. I went to school every day. He didn't halfway go to school, and he was still smarter than me. So I
Mm,
could see something in him that he couldn't see in himself. His home life was different from my home life. I came from a different, as they say, dealing with somebody from the other side of the tracks. I was
mm-hmm.
like the other side of the tracks, and we grew up in Mount Pleasant. But he was intelligent as hell. He just didn't know. He didn't have the family or anybody else to be behind him. His father was an alcoholic, and it passed from generation to generation. But I didn't see that at 15. We don't see things like that when we're young. We just see love, and he was just one of the best guys in the world. But alcohol got the best of it.
Uh,
No, okay.
and your parents. So now so hold on. Was you like the Cosby House? Your parents was living in
You was
No,
rich.
because
Oh,
no,
Vern, what
because
y'all
that's
doing up there?
no, because I understood mental illness. My mother had a nervous breakdown when I was 4,
Mm,
and my father was a womanizer, but my father was a womanizer that took care of my mother because my mother never had a job. Sometimes, if you never have a job, it's good in one way, but it's not good in another way because you're not really seeing life and people because you're not out. My mother never worked, and my father had been my father was the only child and my mother was the only child. That's hard when you're only children. So that meant I had no aunts and uncles. No
okay.
aunts and uncles because they were only children.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother came from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and she brought my father up here at 15 or 16 years old back in the 40s. That's where you migrated and you did that. But my mother lost her mother at as a teenager, so her father had to raise her. But her father had a young wife that said no children. So that meant my mother had to live around the corner from her own father
Wow.
with an
Mm.
aunt. And that meant that my mother never felt love because she lost her mother and she had to come back to her father from New York. So that means she had nobody but her father and his sister and a brother. And she had to live around the corner from my grandfather because he had I would put it out there like it is. He had a wife that didn't work and she was high yellow. When I grew up, red bows and high yellow was in. You could not be dark and survive. Okay, we put it out there like it is. You got models and things that with the bush and everything. When I grew up, it was either you were a red bone or high yellow or you wasn't going to survive. That's it.
Mm.
Put it out there like it is. So I think it bothered my mother, and she married my father. They went to Armstrong. They met at a sock hop because they had dances then, and they got married very young. And my father went in the military. My father wasn't ready to get married, but my mother was. So that created problems. You had 3 children. We're all 2 years apart, and I'm the baby. And my father said, I don't want to be married anymore, but I'll take care of my wife and my kids, but I need to find myself. So I can understand it. I know it sounds awful, but I can understand it. That's why sometimes it's not good for young people to get married, and sometimes it is good. It depends on the people.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Ah.
This is all information. I never asked you any of these questions, so I just thought about it just now. I was like, I don't know nothing about your past.
And you know
Uh,
what? Some things I'm gonna carry, and only me and God will know. But you can know that.
Tell him,
well,
Maria, you ain't gonna tell all your business on no show.
No, some things should go to heaven with you. Okay. I can understand, but you don't understand things when you're young. But when I look back on it, I didn't blame my father because he was too young to get married. But what I did like about my father is he accepted his responsibility, not as being a husband, but he accepted as being a provider because he wasn't a great father. He was a
mm,
great provider.
Okay.
okay.
Mm.
All right. Oh, he wasn't a great father. Wasn't a great husband, but was a great provider. Which.
That's right. There's a difference between being a father and being a provider. My mother never worked, and then
Mm,
his mother came and took care of us. So I was with my mother through mental illness. So when I met Frankie, I could understand mental illness because I had lived the life of it. And my mother was in St. Elizabeth, the real deal, but she wasn't with the serious people. But I still would go to St. Elizabeth because my father would take us every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
can understand it. I lived it.
Wow. So, what was it like growing up in DC in the 60s and 70s?
Freedom. We didn't lock our door. We could go to the store. We didn't have. We had the streetcar, so we didn't have. Nobody had a car, so you didn't have to be jealous of any of your friends because nobody had a car. We rode the streetcars because that was how we grew up, and we spent a lot every week. We would go to the movie theater because that's about all we had, or the roller skating rink. So we didn't have. We weren't able to go a lot of places. So we played a lot of games, and what was so good about it, we could go outside, play, go 5 or 6 blocks, and never lock the door. It was a freedom we had because nobody bothered anybody.
Mm.
Okay. So, what was Maria's childhood favorite movie that you remember going to see?
Okay, as a child, we didn't have any movies because number one, um, I really liked Pinocchio, but when I went to see Pinocchio, there was a man masturbating on Pinocchio, so I was through. And
What?
so I
Hold
had
on,
no
hold on, hold
favorite
on, hold
movie.
on. All right. So, hold on. So, you
But
went
you
and
asked
saw,
me,
you sure you went and saw Pinocchio? Because back
I
then they
saw
used to
Yeah.
have
Pinocchio
it.
at
Don't
the
sound like
Tivoli
Pinocchio to
Theater,
me.
at the
No.
Tivoli Theater on 14th and Monroe Street, Park Road. I know what I saw. Okay, so we didn't really have a lot. We went to church at that time. We all went to church, and after church, we would go to the movies. We didn't have a lot on Saturday. We go to skating rink. There was not a lot of activities for us to do because we played cards. We played. That's why I had to learn the card game. We played a lot of cards. We did a lot of things. When the street lights came on, we had to be on the front porch. We played in the alley all day long. We had no problems. We had an ice box, and the Iceman would come once a week. Uh, it was a different laid back type because I'm born in the 40s, and we got our first television when I was 4 years old, which would have been 1950. And my grandmother played street numbers at that time, and she played triple zeros and hit the number and bought us a TV. And I was 4. That meant if I was 4, my brother was 6, and my sister was 8.
Mm.
Okay. Wow. So, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one of each. My
Okay.
brother, I'm in the middle. I'm the baby. My brother's in the middle, and my sister is the oldest. And they're very, very focused. I was the baby. I did everything they wanted to do, and some that they didn't want to do. And it's all right because they let me be me.
Okay. So now my next question: at what point? So you grew up in DC, you then got married, and you your husband comes home, tells you that he has a friend for you to meet. You meet my mother. At what point? At what point did you realize y'all had a real sisterhood?
That
What
night.
was the thing? The same night.
Well, what happened that night, because like I said, Richard Nixon was going through Watergate, getting kicked out at that time. She
Uh-huh.
says, I have a trip to New York that's coming up. Now remember, I had a husband that had never wanted to do anything, very intelligent, um, but he liked David. He liked Rodney's father. That was his supervisor, but he still liked him. So she said, well, why don't you all come and go on this trip with us? And I said, oh, good, because this time I'm going to get my husband out of the house, out of the city, and we're going to go to New York with them. And we bonded in New York. And the bond lasted, it lasted until today.
So was there anything specific that happened in New York that made the bond, or it
Yeah,
was just
because we knew we had two lousy husbands that we needed to get rid of.
That'll do it.
Okay.
That'll do it.
Because we're in New York, and we went up there to see a play in New York, and I'll never forget. I can't think of the guy's name. He's a dancer, and David liked to drink, and my husband liked to drink, and we had to go get David, uh, pick him up. My husband picked him up, and they're in New York. And Frankie said, "There's a party we need to go to." Well, David looked at my husband and said, "What are we going to do? We expected them to be with us." No, it wasn't that kind of party. They wanted to go to the room and drink and watch the Untouchables. Who in their right damn mind wants to go on a trip to New York and watch the Untouchables on television and drink? So Frankie and I said, "Let them go." And we went out and we partied together. And from then on, we spent years partying together. And we knew then that we just were going to click at that time. But we have other stories. Some of them I can tell, some of them I'll never tell. But we had other
Tell us
stories
another
after
one.
that.
I want to hear another one. What
Well,
was the greatest party story?
after that, that was the first year. That was 1973. And then um, I, I started going around. This was before Rodney's time. And she would say, "David doesn't want to go home to Henderson." I said, "Well, hell, I go home to Henderson, North Carolina. I'd never been." So I started taking David's place to go to his hometown with Frankie, because Frankie's a Washingtonian. Okay. So what made me love Frankie so much is when she told me she didn't believe the priest had a penis. I said, "Jesus, Lord, Frankie, where have you been? Lord, help me." I wasn't smoking marijuana at the time, but I wish I had been, because I heard a whole lot of damn stories. But I said, "How does he pee if he don't have no penis?" Anyway, Frankie was just that good. She just believed in people, and she believed in everything. And I said, "You know what? This is my girl. We're going to have some good times together." And it was good because eventually she realized he had a penis. But I'm just saying, this is how she thought the good of everything she got. She never had any negative. I liked her because she wasn't negative about anything. She saw good in a cockroach. I mean, this is Frankie. And I learned to respect that. She never talked about anybody. She felt good. She loved hard. And that's the way it is. I mean, I like the way she loved her husband, uh, just the way he was. And she just believed in him. And it worked out for the best. But she was just a great person. She was just easy going, like Sunday morning. Just easy.
Well, what was the final straw between you and your husband?
Lord, I left him. Thank you, Jesus. And it was good. But see, the thing of it is Frankie and I realized, because the next year we went to Canada together. David and my husband got proceeded to get drunk on the bus before we got there. Okay. And we realized something about our marriages. It was just best for us to hang out together. Some things are not meant for everybody. Now, it did in the end, because God works it out, because David began to go with Frankie towards the end. But during that time before Rodney was born, we just kept going, and then she began to change, and she stopped smoking and drinking. And then I didn't stop smoking and drinking, but she didn't leave me. That's the key. Our friendship was not built on us partying together. Our friendship was built on love. And that's where it ended up, because she got better, her marriage got better, her kids came along, but we never left each other. I would go out and party, and she was in church, and she didn't nag me. She kept praying for me to get where I am today.
Okay. So what made you stop drinking and smoking? When did that happen?
Between Well, Sylvia, which is Vance's mother, used to come over here. And I tell you what, I said, "Frankie, stop bringing them Christians over here because I have to put down my drink and my cigarette. I'm hiding from Christian people. And Sylvia laughs all the time when I tell her this. I said, Frank, oh Lord, Bill and Sylvia coming over. I said, oh shit. Lord, help me. Just put the cigarette out, Marie, and come outside, okay? They don't care. So I begin to realize that Christians weren't all bad and all uppity. And when she told me about Carol, Vance's sister, having Kevin, I said, oh no, they need to abort this baby.
Oh shit.
They need to do all this stuff and hide this baby. And Frankie said, Sylvia and them are Christians, Maria. They don't hide nothing. They're gonna do what they have to do. And that gave me that respect because I thought at that time that Christians were just closet gays. Okay.
Wow.
Because I think get it together, Rodney.
I'm sorry. Hold on. All right, go ahead, Mama.
Together.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay, you ready?
Closet gays. I got you. Go ahead. Christians are closet gays. Hold on.
Only because let me tell you something that I found out through life. People, people,
Yo,
people want to have sex, and only poor people have the babies because rich people are having oral sex and anal sex. I had to figure out how it was because I had to figure out why are all these people that are poor and black or Hispanic or whatever, and they having babies. Other people are having sex. Sex is sex. But I felt like people that had money could hide things better than people that were poor. So I just began to look at people different. And whenever you go to church, I always felt inferior to other people because Frankie would drag me to church, save a seat for me. I had to go to church so she would watch my daughter while I went to the club. Once she got saved, she said, okay, Nicole and Rodney are going to be here with me. She said, but I expect you to be here on Sunday morning because I'm going to save a seat for you in church. So I began to realize that some of these people were I think they were looking down on me. But through Kathy Allen, through Frankie, and through Sylvia Robs, I began to find out who I was and they couldn't judge me because God is going to look at the heart and not at the act. I was hiding my cigarette smoking. I was hiding things. You can't hide from God. So you need to be yourself, and eventually things will get better. And and then Frankie was always there to encourage me. I only got mad at her that one time when she smoked my marijuana and went to sleep. I was very upset about that because I told her you don't waste good marijuana. Okay, you slept through the whole party. But other than that, she was real. That was my friend. And she turned me on to people like Sylvia and Kathy that did not judge. And that's where I had to begin to realize we think the people because they smoke, drink, play numbers, and curse that are bad. God looks at the heart. We can't see the heart. We better worry about them people that we can't see the heart. Because some of these people that smoke, drink, curse, and play numbers are not as evil and wicked as some of these people because their heart is wicked.
yeah, I
Even
totally
some
agree.
people in the church, even some people in the church, you know,
That's right. But see, we don't look at the people. I had to begin to realize that I didn't have to hide anything. I didn't have to hide from anybody. I had to be me because at that day, people are not going to judge me. I'm going to be judged by God.
Yep, totally agree.
So I began to
Totally.
become free, and eventually I stopped smoking. See, when things are for you, they're for you. And when it's your time, it's your time. And you never know when you're going to stop doing anything. Okay. But you just may wake up one day and no matter what Frankie did or said to me, she always was there for me. And she would always say, Maria, it's gonna be all right. What do you need? Okay. You can be here. Uh, People don't give up their car. I knew the bond that we had. Maria, take me to work every day and be back at a certain time, and you got my car all during the daytime, so you can do what you want to do. People don't do that. My house is your house, and then she told David, that Maria was going to be here. And David was very quiet, but him and I had a bond. I didn't bother him, he didn't bother me, and I wasn't intimidated by him. And I could stay here, and he didn't care either.
Yeah, I remember the days. Every weekend you definitely came through. I remember a little. I do remember you smoking all the time and playing cards, playing
Yeah, I remember that.
pinochle, and watching Boomerang 6 gajillion times. I
And
remember that.
Love Jones.
Everybody.
Don't forget
Nah,
Love
nah,
Jones,
nah. By
baby.
the time Love Jones came out, I was out ripping and running then.
Okay. Well,
But
yeah.
Boomerang. I remember watching Boomerang. I probably watched Boomerang with you 700 times. So
Well, good. And listen, I still got it. We can watch it another 600 or 700.
hey,
So
you
it's
know,
all
I ain't,
good.
you
And they
know.
ain't changed.
But I just remember you cracking that whip when we made bad moves and bid whisk and spades.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? Kicking us and
That's
kicking
right.
us out, like making us stay up till 2, 3 in the morning until we got it right. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean?
That's right. Because let me tell you something. That's all we had in DC was a deck of cards. Y'all got more stuff now that these kids talk about they bored. We was never bored. Okay. And I don't care if I lose. I just want a good partner. Losing is not everything. I just want to play the cards right.
Okay, all right. So, all right. So now I got a question. So during the time that we've gone there to now, so I also want to give a shout out to Nicole, who's my big sister, who is Maria's daughter, who we kind of raised. We raised each other because Maria and my mom was partying that I remember until we got to the age that we wanted to party, and then all of a sudden, that's when people want to start staying home and this, that, and the other. So, but shout out to Nicole. We helped raise each other, and then Maria helped us out too. But let me ask you a question. So, thinking back to these days in your marriage and your relationships to it before you found God, is there anything that you would have changed or done differently now? If you could go back and talk to that Maria back then, what would you say to her, and what would be that conversation you would have now?
Well, I think I would have done better with my money, number one. And I had a bad time in my life that really worked out good. I retired from AT&T, and at that time, uh, when I had to take a $15,000 pay cut, I had to realize, and it took me a while to realize, you're taking $15,000 a year pay cut, and I couldn't pay my mortgage. And that's when I kept coming to church more and more and kept hearing the word more and more. And I began to realize that some people didn't even make $15,000. And I was blessed enough to have a good job to lose that 15,000, but I never lost it because it gave the people that Frankie surrounded herself with, Kathy, Sylvia, people like that, they prayed for me and they kept telling me, God has no number of stuff. We put a number on things and God doesn't put it on there. And it built my faith. And I'm in the bed and it's Christmas time. And this was 1993. And I just feel like there's no hope. My car had broke down and I just felt terrible. And Frankie came over and told me one thing. He said, Maria, if you're in the bed and you're depressed over Christmas, I'll take care of Christmas for you. Now, that just hit me hard. And she
Mm.
did exactly what she said she was going to do. It's good when you have friends that they mean well, they'll tell you this and tell you that. No, 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 no. If she told me something, she was going to do it. If she had to take a credit card, my daughter still had the best Christmas. And Frankie said to me, okay, now why are you still in the bed for a whole week depressed? Christmas is taken care of. What's the next problem? Okay.
Hey, mental health right there.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
mental health because I was having a mini nervous breakdown. But she
mm,
said to me,
mm.
okay, I took care of Christmas. What's your next problem? Well, Nicole needs to be a debutante. I took care of that, okay? Because now
Yeah.
Rodney got a car and Rodney gonna be there. Okay, you keep asking for all this stuff, and Frankie had an answer for everything. And then I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, my biggest obstacle was I was dealing with a married man. I put it out there like it is.
Oh
Now,
shit! Now I didn't know this. Hold on.
okay,
1993, you was messing with a married man.
okay, yeah. No, not well, that had been before that, I think. So
Okay.
the point of it
All right.
is when you're out here, and I've been to a psychiatrist before, so I believe, and when you're having problems, you need to go get help. So I had a good sense of humor at the time, so I just told the psychiatrist I want to lay down on the couch like they do on TV. So he said,
Okay.
"Okay, if you feel better laying down talking, you can lay down and talk." And the thing of it is, the nurse and the doctors told me, "Listen, if anybody's gonna lose their mind, let his wife lose her mind. You don't need to
Well,
lose your
his
mind
wife.
over a
Okay.
married man. You're not married to
Yeah.
him. You can't be stressed out with that." And that hit me. Just saying that. Let his wife. I mean, I was just at that down point because I felt like things were happening, things that I had no control over, but it was going to be good for me if at the end. And I'm saying to myself, I go in, I go to, oh, listen, I'm just depressed because the Woodrow Wilson Bridge is backed up. Hell, the bridge is bigger than me. Why are you going to be depressed over a bridge? Get your ass up early and go across the bridge instead of trying to sleep late, hang all night,
Mm-hmm.
and go across the bridge and you late every day. So
Mm-hmm.
that helped me more when I started looking at it like that. Go,
All
you're
right.
going to beat that bridge. Go across that bridge early. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, uh, I'm just sick of when I wake up in the morning. Put some pictures up. Open the shades. Look at life difference. He said, because you need to have your surroundings pleasant. Okay. Get some pleasant friends in your life instead of you waking up every day, you're down and depressed, you're dealing with this. Anybody gonna lose their mind? Let that wife lose their mind. That ain't your husband. So I said to myself, ooh, these are things that changed my life. I said, well, how do I? Natalie Cole had a song out then. I can't say no. So I said, well, how do
Okay.
I get to that point where I can't say no? I said, then you need to hide over Frankie's house every weekend. Okay? And he can't
Mm.
find you. So you don't
So
have to
hold
say
on. So
no.
you was hiding over our house
Yes,
because you was over messing with a married man being a
yes,
homewrecker. That's what you
yes,
telling me.
yes, yes. And he couldn't find
Okay.
me. Yes. You want it?
Hold
You
on.
want
Hold
it?
on.
I'll
I
give
got.
you an answer.
No, no. I
Yes.
got one more question. I just got to get this quick shout out. And Albans, I need your help on this one. All right.
All right.
My aunt in 1993 was driving a 1982 Oldsmobile
Cadillac.
Cutlass
Okay.
Cadillac.
That's it.
Okay. I wish you had known her then, because this car was literally, she drove that joint into it was on his last leg, son.
All right.
Okay.
Like dog. How about this? If you sat in the front passenger seat, you had to put your feet up on the window because there was no floorboard. It was completely rusted out. That joint
Hey,
looked like
that's
something. That joint looked like it was something out of the Flintstones joint. You
that's
know
what I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
When it breaks down, the passenger starts pedaling.
Yo, yo,
Dysfunction.
that car was classic. How
Okay.
long did you have that car, Maria?
Let's see. When did I get rid of the
I don't even know if it was 82. It was probably older than
You
that.
tell them about the nice T-bird I had. Why you gonna bring up
Yeah,
baby stuff,
man.
right?
We gonna talk about the old car.
Nah, hey,
What
that
was
joint
up
was
with that
classic.
T-bird?
I had.
I remember when
I
people
remember
we
the
had to get in
T-bird.
that joint. We had to get in that joint. We was like, yo,
Remember
Right.
the
yo, I can see
T-bird?
the road and she driving, son, through the
Okay.
floorboard.
Well, yes, that car was bad, but guess who helped me get a new car? You got one guess, and if you get this wrong, I know something wrong with you.
I guess my mom. I'm
There you
assuming.
go. And you know how she helped me? I had quit smoking finally from prayer because all of a sudden one day I woke up like Forrest Gump wakes up and decide I'm tired of running. I said
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of smoking, and this was 1995. Uh, it was I quit in July. It's been 28 years. I stopped smoking marijuana and I stopped smoking cigarettes. I just woke up one day and said I had enough. So I saved my money for a whole year. I saved $3 a day because the guy was giving me. I stopped. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. So I stopped buying cartons of cigarettes in maybe 3 or 4 years before. So the gas station would give me 3 packs of cigarettes for $7. So I saved that. So Frankie comes to me one day because the Calais, as Rodney already put my business out there, you could see through the floorboard, and it was pretty bad, but it ran. And
That
uh
muffler was not connected. Our ass.
I know it
It
was
was
pretty
not
bad.
connected.
But guess
Nah, it
what?
had a
It was
muffler, but it
it
was
was on
not
there.
connected.
It
Nah,
was on
nah.
there, but it was
You,
okay.
yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha.
you could hear that car from 6 miles away, son. You knew
But
when
guess
Marie
what?
was.
I went in that car every day. I did what I needed to do. And when it
Absolutely.
didn't work, I got a ride. So we're in today. So I
Yeah.
said to myself, oh Lord, how am I going to get a new car? And Frankie comes to me and tells me that somebody had sent her something in the mail for a new car, and she said she didn't need one. So Frankie and I went out there, me and my girl went out there, and it was a Toyota Corolla. And I didn't have to put any money down, but they wanted me to pay the taxes on it. I took the cigarette money that I had saved for a year and I put a down payment on that car. But Frankie drove me out there, and the down payment came from the money that I had saved every day. I put it in a jar, took it to the place, had it rolled up, took it to the bank and everything. And that's what I used as a down payment on that Corolla.
Good
And
stuff.
that's powerful because I didn't know what to do. But of course, naturally, my girl had something that because she didn't need it. She said, "Well, I don't need a car." Well, you. I said, "Well, good, I need a car." And they asked for no down payment, and my car note was less than $300 a month. Can you be that good? Don't tell me that God don't look after babies and fools. Don't tell me that God don't have you. Because he'll send somebody in to do it. And I got a brand new car and only had a $297 car note each month.
Mm.
And with that Calais, when it broke down, I had to pay insurance on it because I didn't want my insurance to lapse. So already I rented a car. I
Yeah,
was
that
in a
car
rental
was.
car for a couple of months till God brought me something else.
All I know is that Oldsmobile was that joint was there forever. I remember that Oldsmobile like it was ever because I used to run to it to make sure I got in the back seat because I was scared to sit in the front. I was
But
like, ain't,
Oh,
most people want a shotgun. I was like, nah,
listen,
man. All right, Marie. Well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna in the interview portion and get to the last couple questions and things that I have. I do got one. Do you have one story that you've never told me about a party or something that you and my mother did, or something you just did? It don't even have to be about that. That that maybe you want to share, or it was a life lesson or something you learned out of it.
well, I believe in this. I never smoked marijuana. I used to just drink
You never
during the
smoked
ride.
marijuana.
No,
Never.
at this time, listen, okay? At this particular time, I didn't. And I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
saying, and I'm saying to myself, what I wouldn't do. One thing about it is you keep saying what you're not going to do. And I believe that Satan makes sure you're going to do it because I said, oh, I'm not going to do it with a married man. I'm
Mm.
not going to do drugs. I would drink a little bit and do that stuff. Well, one day my girlfriend said, let's go to the party together. And I said, okay. I went to the party and and I was 31 years old at this time. I had never cheated. Oh, Lord help me. I hate to think about it. I cheated on my husband,
Oh
slapped
Lord.
myself in the head, move on. Okay. And I never smoked marijuana. So, and Nicole, I had Nicole when I was 30. People would get on my nerves saying, oh, I know you were surprised when she come along. What 30-year-old don't know about birth control? That's just stupid. I wasn't surprised when she came along. I was surprised at 18 when my son came along. But there, I go to the party. And she said, tried this. And I said, damn, I don't want to smoke no marijuana. Well, I did. Well, at the party, she said, you're going to feel different. You're going to feel eased out and everything. So they had food on the table and it was at the salad and everything. So me with my dizzy self, I done smoked this joint. Oh, Lord, I'm out here. The bells ring. I'm hearing everything ringing. And then I'm going to eat some salad. Well, I tried a French dressing and the bottle is empty. Then I tried an Italian dressing and the bottle is empty. I tried every dressing on that table and the bottle is empty. And I told her, what kind of damn party is this that you brought me through where these Negroes have used all of the salad dressing? She said, fool, take the top off of the salad dressing. And then I said to myself,
Hey, you was high as a kite.
She was
It was a whole nother planet.
at me. They laughing at me. And she said, you just going up and down the table and you try to put the things on there and the top is still on there. And I said, this must be some powerful stuff. That's how I started smoking marijuana. And then I wasn't gonna cheat on I really wasn't gonna cheat. But
okay.
For some reason, I had to cheat because I was just tired of him. He was boring. I just needed some excitement in my life. Lord, I went to the motel with the man, and the sex was so good I fell on the floor. I said, Lord, I got to get up out of here. So I'm everybody. Hey, listen, I'm chilled now. I don't want to cheat on nobody. I've been by myself. I'm happy. I love the Lord. But I look back at them times and I laugh.
Hold
And
on.
thank God
So the
God
sex
had to
on the
bring
floor was that with the married man?
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. Hey, let me tell you something.
I'm just
Y'all
finding out.
let
I ain't know my Aunt Maria's getting her back blown out like that. Okay.
me tell you something. No, 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 no. One thing that I'll tell you that is not good. We were friends. Sometimes if you're friends before lovers, and you have to begin to look at if everybody said the man is a dog and he cheated on his wife, what makes you think you're gonna pick him up and put him down any different than anybody else? Women have to learn. Men have to learn. It don't matter. Doesn't make a difference how you look at Holly Berry. You look at some of these beautiful people. That's not going to keep anybody. It's a lot different than that. I've learned a lot in life as going along, and I accept that. No matter. I don't care if I could pole dance, whatever it is, lap dance, and all the rest of them. If they're a cheater, they're going to cheat on you. And begin to start looking at how people treat other people, and they're not going to treat you any better. Sometimes it's not good to be involved. And you know, the biggest thing is forgiving yourself. I had to learn to forgive myself for the
Mm-hmm.
things that I have done and move on. You can forgive
Absolutely.
the other person, but to forgive yourself is the greatest thing in the world.
You got
Because
to
I
start
ended
with
up,
yourself. We had
and
that
after I
discussion. You got to start with yourself.
start with yourself, okay?
Yes,
Michael
absolutely.
Jackson said, "The man is the mirror," and nobody can judge me but God. I don't really care
I
what
don't know.
anybody thinks of me.
I don't know, Aunt Maria. I'm starting to judge. I definitely didn't know you was messing with a married man. I ain't know
Do
you was
what you
going to
got to do.
hotels getting your back blown out. I
Do what
ain't
you
know.
got to do.
I
Do
ain't know all this stuff was happening, Maria. I'm just saying.
do what you
I
got
might
to
have to.
listen.
I might have to
Guess
read.
what?
You know, and you hang out with my wife. I don't need her to know hear this
And
kind of
guess
information.
what? Guess what? Vicky can't hang out with me. Because Maria don't hang no more. And I'm gonna tell you like this. Let me tell you something. Don't kiss and tell. I'm not gonna wait 30 years and tell you I slept with Bill Cosby. Either he'd be dead by now or whatever. See, these people want to wait. I love the Me Too movement. Don't misunderstand me. I think it, but with children are afraid to come forth. But I'm not going to tell you something I did 30 years ago and then have it for now. I would have told it long before now. I, listen, I'm cool, Rodney. You know the deal. And I
Okay.
don't give a rat's ass what you think about me going with a married man because I did it and I forgave myself and it's over.
Well, that's all right. That man probably not even live no more. It's all good.
I,
You know.
listen, you need to talk about the man that beat his mama with a hammer. We'll talk about that at another time.
I need. Hold on. Say that again. What did you say?
I, listen, I'm like going on Sherry Shepherd and them places. You'll invite me back again. I got more stories for you.
So, in light of you being here, Maria, we decided that we have a lot of music and movie discussions here. So we decided to go into music, and we wanted to debate and argue on the number one, the top three or number one, like 70s love love song. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it off with my top three. And Maria, you get to be the judge. So we're gonna all give our selection of the top three music and songs that we think from the 70s that was like the number one that people made babies to back in the 70s, because you know that was the era where y'all didn't believe in protection and stuff like that. Apparently, you know, meet in hotels and get your back blown out. So I'm gonna go first, unless somebody else. Y'all, if you don't, I want to go. I want to go first because I know that somebody's going to say the same songs as me. So I kind of want to beat y'all to it. But I got one that's my go-to. Albans, I'll let you go first because you know
no. I want you to go first.
I want you to go first. Now I want you to go because I want to hear the Caucasian perspective.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I got one special for you because you brought him up before with the whole Elvis thing.
Okay, well, we go back. All right, so for me, Maria, I mean the easiest one that everybody's going to say is Marvin Gaye. Let's Get It On. So Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. I think there was many babies made with that song. Then for me, I researched a little bit and I kind of wanted to put a wild card. So this is my wild card, but then I got my number one choice. So my wild card is the Jackson 5, I'll Be There. You know that song, right, Maria? I'll Be There. You got that? You know what I'm talking about?
Do.
Okay. But my number one that is going to be number one on my list is Lenny Williams, Because I Love You. And that's the one where he's like, I love you. That's that joint right there, yeah. Because I listened to that song. Well, you know, I tried my best. I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying to sell it because I know on this show, you know, we can't just say something without selling it, and then because you burn it up. But you know, that's my wait and exhale moment. You know, because that joint right there.
Not again, please. No.
That joint right there was my number one. Like, yeah, I bang my wife to that right now. So.
But this is his friends.
Maria, you focused?
I'm always focused. Don't play with me.
Well, you over there talking to Vicky? Tell Vicky get out of there. All right, go ahead. Albans is on you, sir. Albans, what was yours? So you want? You know what? I'll wait for Albans. Vance, you're next.
I think you know what I'm saying. Let's Stay Together was one of the Al Green was one of the biggest songs in the 70s.
Right.
Love song.
Okay.
Try safe.
Barry White. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. The name of it.
The red jumped out when you said Barry White. She got excited.
I just had it. My list is. Hold on.
All right, well, Barry White. Barry White had a lot of hits back then.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were 70s though. I think Barry White might have been 80s, but I'm gonna go ahead and let it pass. It's still
70s.
Huh?
I think Barry White was 70s.
You think so? We'll go to the music expert. Everett, I don't know if you did. Can you verify that Barry White was 70s? Because I think it was 80s.
What song are we talking about?
I don't know yet.
You're my first, my last, my everything.
Oh.
That was 70s. Yeah, that was 70s.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 74.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Just the Way You Are, Barry White.
All right, so now you went with Barry White because you saw Maria's expression. All right, so
you already know.
Albans, go ahead, Maria. Go ahead. Hold on, you gotta hear you gotta hear everything, and then you're the judge.
Is this the Barry White with his eyes rolled back in his head?
Mm-hmm.
Lord help me.
All right, Albeezy, what's your choice?
All right, so number 3, I had to throw this out since y'all kept throwing Elvis in my face, so Always on My Mind.
Okay. I don't even know that song, but I'm gonna keep moving. You gotta sing it for me. How it go?
No, I ain't saying that shit. Yeah, YouTube link in the
It's in the
comment
chat.
section.
All right.
Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's a love song. That's like
It is
I'm
a
trying
love
to get
song.
you back song.
Yep.
It's all right. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I mean that's a make.
No, it's a great song though. Yeah, that's a great song.
That-
I'm not. No, okay, Bill, go ahead.
But of course, Marvin Gaye, Let's Get On, which
All right.
that pissed me off because that one, right? I mean,
Well, I knew somebody said it. That's why I wanted to go
everybody's gonna
first.
say that.
Yeah,
and
that joint
Williams,
was.
right?
Huh? Well, hold on. Lenny Williams was that
That's number
joint
one.
classic,
That's number
son.
one.
That joint's
That's
a
number
bitch,
one.
son.
Williams is number one. So it's
Well, that's our
People
opinion.
use it. People
Everett,
use
I know
that
you're a
30
big
years from
music
now.
guy. You want to jump in this? You got any honorable mentions or something you want to throw in there?
I got you. "Do for Love" by Bobby Caldwell. Excuse me.
Okay, I know that one. Okay.
Distant Lovers, Marvin Gaye.
You said
what
what?
was that?
Distant Lovers.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah.
joint was really good.
And I got one that just heard the other day. "Make It With You" by Ralphie Pagan. Everybody know that?
Nah, I don't know that
No,
one. You
I
said
haven't heard
what was the name of it again?
"Make It With You."
Make It With You. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about that one either. I don't know. All right, Maria. So which out of the ones we named, who's winning?
I got my own, so I didn't pay no attention
Oh
to
shit!
y'all.
All right. Well, my bad. I'm sorry.
And I don't remember this was the 70s, but nothing can turn you any better than James Brown singing "Please, Please, Please." Lord,
Okay.
it'll make
That
you
ain't
feel when you
70s
don't
though,
want
is
to
it?
come.
Nah, James. I think it's 70s. It might be. I don't know.
Let me tell you something.
Everett, you can look that up for us. I don't know. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Please, please will make you feel like you are the queen of the world because this man is singing. Please, he got to have you no matter what. Please, please, please will definitely put some hair on your chest. You'll have some 44 double D's like Dolly Parton when it's over.
That joint is released in 58.
58. Hey, I was pleased this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that now. I'm good. I was there this morning. I was just like that before church. Trust me. I was like, come on, baby.
That's right. But I'm telling you, to have somebody sing it to you, please, know you got it under control. Then, Lord, you done been to the mountaintop. You done seen the promised land. Woo! Sorry.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we all got trumped. I mean, it wasn't right, John. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, I got you.
Sexual healing by Marvin Gaye.
Oh, sexual healing. Sexual healing.
Right,
okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's 80s. Be honest with you.
I don't know. We got somebody look it up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead, but she got the queen of the house card, so we'll go ahead and let it pass. I mean, she gave us a 1958 song and sexual healing.
Hey, guess what? You average those out. You average those out.
Yeah. We'll meet right there. Yeah, it's all good.
You invited me. I didn't beg to come. You told me to be free, and I'm free. That's how I feel. Sexual healing.
Sexual healing. Hey, I mean, you was there, so you should know. You know what I'm saying?
At 58, I wasn't that old because remember I was just born in 46. I was only 12, but I learned to appreciate this stuff.
Well, you did say you met your husband at 12. That might have been good.
But I didn't start.
It is
Wait
80,
a minute.
by the way. It's 82.
Okay.
I didn't start dating him. I didn't start dating him until his 16th birthday. I was not a child bride. Okay, I was just young. Okay.
Okay. Was you a virgin when you was married?
Until I met him.
No, when you got married, was you a virgin?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Before I got married.
Nah, I'm messing with you.
No, you messing with me. My son was born, and I got married after my son was born.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. He was knocking that back out. I knew it.
I'm free, and I got the best relationship with my son. Let it go.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm not. It's all good. I love you. Not trust me. You preaching to the choir too. My son was born 10 days before I got married, so I ain't judging. I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? I ain't judging. But we're gonna
Doesn't matter if
go.
you judge or not. It's all right.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to the next subject, and that is, it's one more. One more. We have to guess who Maria feels is the sexiest man on earth.
And the way she said it was James Brown. Like,
Nah, it ain't James. No, don't be fishing. Don't be fishing. Don't be fishing. No fishing. Nah, don't be fishing. So everybody gets one guess, and Maria tells us if we right, we wrong, this, that, and the other. I don't, so if you want me to go first, I'll go first. I ain't scared. So I'm just giving my I don't. After this conversation, I don't feel like as secure I was when I first thought about it. But I'm going to still give my guess, and that will be Denzel Washington. It's going to be my guess for Maria's sexiest man on earth. Now, so I only get one, so I went with that one. So. Anybody else ready to throw out a name or a guess? Come on, be ready. Come on. Albans is not Elvis, so you good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Mike
don't say what you're
Alban,
gonna say. No. Come on.
I was gonna say Mike Alban, but
who?
Don't worry. Exactly. Who? All right, go ahead. Who? Nah. Come on, man. Give you a classic guess. Come on, it's getting.
I know exactly who it is.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Vance. Who is it then?
It's Billy D. Williams. Everybody in her era.
I forgot all about Billy D.
Loved Billy D.
God damn, I forgot about Billy D. Oh, Billy D is a good fucking guess. Oh man, that was a really good guess.
I was waiting for her to say no. Go ahead and say
not Billy. If it ain't Billy, all right, go ahead, Albans. Yeah, I feel like we lost on that. That was a good one. God damn, that one changed my guess. Go ahead. I want to check. Fuck that. I'm changing mine. I'm changing mine to El DeBarge.
It's Billy D, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to think who else was back in that day. God damn. All right, Everett, you got one, Everett? You got a guess? You was going with Billy D?
Really good though.
Yeah, that's a really strong one right there. God damn.
I'd probably go with Marvin Gaye.
Everybody liked him too.
Nah, I don't know. Billy D's winning in my joint. All right, Albans, you got
one? Fuck. Dude, you got me on this one. Shit.
Gotta throw a guess out there, man. They ain't somebody. Shit. Besides yourself, nobody's interested.
All right. I'm gonna throw a different one. Like way out.
You wouldn't know
Connery.
Sean,
there you go.
The fuck out of here.
Yeah,
there you go. They like him too.
Hey, 007.
All right. Maria?
Yes.
All right, so I got two things. You can tell us who the number one person is, but you got to pick one out of who we guessed, which I know is going to be Billy D at this point. But if you got somebody over that, out of who we guessed, you got to give us a winner, but tell us if there's somebody who's above that.
Okay, well, Rodney, you was the closest. I love Marvin Gaye. And don't misunderstand, I love Marvin Gaye because I think Marvin Gaye.
That wasn't me. That was Everett.
That was Everett.
Denzel.
Okay. All right.
Denzel had the sexiest walk. And it's something about him. Denzel would probably be out of what
I know my aunt. I'm sorry.
Yes,
go ahead.
Because Denzel, but I replaced him. When I got stranded in the airport at Christmas time, I don't know this man's name, but Denzel was Vicky was right, because I kind of like Marion Barry until somebody told me he wasn't a good lay, because I had a girlfriend that slept with him. So I kind of took him off the list. But Denzel has always been sexy to me. But I met a man in the airport during Christmas of 2022 when I got stranded for 3 days, and he was at the elevator.
2022.
Yeah, I just got set. I got stranded in the airport with Southwest for 3 days at Christmas.
Do
So
we
I
know
don't
this
know.
nigga? Was he a celebrity? Like, what you doing
I
in
don't know what he was,
2022?
but I tell you what, I had to turn around and say something to him, and I don't say anything. This man was chocolate. He's a chocolate black.
Do
He
you
was
know his
so
name?
dark. Wait a minute. This
Okay.
man was fine. I had to stop after being in the airport for 3 days and tell him, I said, you know what? You're the darkest chocolate man that I've ever seen that looks good. Wait a minute. I asked him how old he was. He said he was in his 40s. I said, you know what? If I was 30
What the
years
fuck?
younger, you would be my chocolate Easter bunny.
Random
A
dude at the airport won the contest.
fine looking man. Let it go. But real life,
Nah, that's
I was,
because that's the dementia. That's the dementia talking. She don't
there
remember in the
wasn't no
70s.
dementia. There was no dementia. The man was fine. But Rodney, you was the closest. Because Denzel, I could have gone around with him. Biggie, it was Marion Barry till I found out that he was just wasn't all that. But Denzel, you was right. He's fine. His walk, his mannerism, it's just something sexy about Denzel.
I know my aunt.
That's
I'm
right.
proud of myself. So, hey, look, fellas, hey, this was a great episode. I'm glad. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I definitely thought Billy D was the winner. I ain't gonna lie. I
Yeah,
definitely
man.
thought he was
No,
the winner. Son, I was
too
like,
old,
God damn.
too old,
But, huh?
too
Too
old.
old. Too old. Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah. All right. See, I
think
know
about
my
him and
aunt.
Denzel. But I like Denzel better.
I know my aunt. It's all good, man. I appreciate you validating me. Everybody, I thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I thank you all for coming through. This was another episode of Dad Mentality. I'm glad everybody's here. This is my mom, my matriarch. It did take a village to raise me, and she's definitely a part of my life. I learned a long time ago from this woman, as you can see, that look, man, be you, be you. Don't worry about, nobody can judge you. Only God can judge you. So be you every day, man. Hey, fellas, Albez, my man, Vance, Coach, Everett. It was another great episode. Maria, thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of this podcast. This will be something that'd be great out there, and we'd love to have you again. We're going to make sure it happens, and I'm glad that we took the time to make this happen and enjoyed you. So thank you, Maria.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
all. And please let
Thank
me
you.
come back and talk about being a dad because I got some things to tell you all. Y'all wanted to talk about me and being a mom and your mom and stuff, but I got a little inside thing. And if you all are dads, I need to let y'all know a couple of things.
All right.
Right.
I hear you, but we've been dads.
I don't
I
care.
don't know. I don't know if you was a dad, but we was a dad. We've been dads all our lives. You know what I'm saying?
I
Or
don't
at least
care. I'm gonna tell you.
we convinced somebody
You you might have been
to
want to
meet
be
us at the
dad, but I'm
hotel
gonna
and
tell
get their
y'all about being
backbone
a
out.
dad. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna put it out there and tell y'all about
All right,
being
you
a
got
dad.
Okay.
All
I'm gonna
right.
give you
So just call me
2
back.
minutes.
Shout out.
Okay. All right. Well, we good.
Oh, dude,
Hey,
shout out.
tell
Love you too.
your kids we love them. Tell
I
them it's
will you too.
dad mentality. They got to come join us another time too, Albans. Hey, look, I'm glad everybody was here. We're gonna end the show right here. Thank you, Maria. Thank y'all for
Yes.
being here. God bless. Today was a good day, and you can catch us on all platforms at dad_mentality. You can also catch me on Twitch with the Beast One, getting these dubs out here. I had this little kid challenge me last week and got upset, lost his little money because he gonna tell me he had more wins than me, and I was like, nah, you don't know what I do out here in these streets. But it was fun. It was good. Thank you everybody for being here, coming out, checking it out, man. And we'll see you next week with another great show.
All right.
All right.